I might start with that last one first, the making. So an example of using making in this way, you might say that our project is about making vehicles more streamlined by removing unnecessary um, surface uh, uh, unnecessary components on their surfaces, something like that. So the idea of making something more something, um, that's a phrasing that's often used. So you could make something efficient, you could make it streamlined, you could make our project successful. So we could say that the university has a focus on making teaching and learning cheaper.
Or cheaper. Yeah,
Um,
exactly.
and that sort of phrasing is used there. Does that answer that?
Yeah.
Streamlining, was that my example?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Streamlining is like you're making it so it's smooth and it doesn't disrupt the airflow over something. And so they often use it metaphorically as well as physically, like to say we need to streamline our processes. That is, students need to get access to the services they need more quickly.
Mm.
So there's nothing getting in the way. Um, so this idea of retrofitting is putting something in place retrospectively. That is, the buildings that they're talking about here weren't designed to have solar panels on them. They weren't designed to have, probably in some cases, weren't designed to have electrical systems in them at all, right? If they were built in the early modern period, there's no electricity,
Yeah.
or in the medieval period. So, um, retrofitting is going back and fixing it up so that it works. Like you could say that I've got an old laptop. I needed to retrofit it with a new solid state drive because it was so slow running
Mm.
it off the old hard disk drive. Um, that's that idea of retrofitting.
Retrofitting. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or yeah, I need to retrofit my house to make sure that it is fitted with the solar panels. I don't know.
Yeah, so
Retrofit them with the solar panel technology. Yeah, exactly.
that's right. So in extreme cases, like in lots of places in Sydney, we have natural gas in cooking. And so what they're doing now is retrofitting a lot of buildings so that they're electricity only because it's a bit dangerous to be cooking with natural gas in most places.
But
So you might talk about a probation period in a job, and at the end of that period, let's say they hire you in a job and they say you've got probation for 6 months. Then during those 6 months, you either meet the standards of your role or you don't. So if you're not good enough, like let's say you're teaching classes and in one class I don't know, get angry and slap a student, they might say, "No, you haven't met the standards we expect here, so you're not going to complete your probation. You'll have to
yeah,
leave."
you meet
Um,
the stand.
Different probation for you, yeah. So it'll be meeting standards, meeting criteria. Sometimes that you might say, oh, your work has met the criteria to receive a high distinction, or it's exceeded the criteria of high quality work, and so we're going to give you this award.
Yeah, or maybe
So
you're overqualified. Yeah,
yeah,
you're,
that
you're
that yeah, you might exceed the the criteria. They might say you're overqualified, you've exceeded the criteria for this role. We can't actually employ you because you actually need a better role. Get a job anywhere but a university, they would look at my they would say you're both over and underqualified for pretty much any other job. Because I've just worked at universities too long.
yeah. They told the same thing to that person, and yeah, that's for engineering. I saw a lot of people. Now,
Would consider if I would consider just not putting your PhD on your job application, depending.
yeah,
Um,
exactly, exactly. Yeah,
yeah, well, it's a bit more abstract than that. So the challenge of integrating modern amenities, but without compromising the integrity of historical sites. So you're imagining that the building not only has an existing structure, but it also has a kind of style, and it has features that are historical. So, for example, at the university, there's a building that used to be the engineering building many, many years ago, but it's now the place that they have English and media. Um, and they're currently trying to put air conditioning in it and to retrofit a whole lot of new technology into it. And it's taking them a very, very long time because it's a sandstone building that has to be very, very carefully um, improved so that they don't change any of its external appearance or don't change it too much. So that's the idea of compromising its integrity, would be to remove those features that are seen as historical.
So when we talked about modern amenities, we talked about the HVAC system or what? Can you explain more? Or solar
Yeah.
panels or something?
So amenities is
Amenities.
more like um, amenity is like it's like something that people want or they find useful in a building or in a place.
HVAC
So
system. Yeah.
so air conditioning, um, maybe there's not maybe there's not even enough PowerPoints, to plug in
Yeah,
your
yeah, exactly.
phone. All of that sort of thing would count as
Internet.
amenities.
Yeah.
Also,
Wi-Fi.
some buildings only they didn't when they built them, they didn't imagine that women would ever work there. So they've got toilets. They've got men's toilets on every floor, and then they've got women's, like one woman's toilet at
Yeah,
the entrance, and that's it. So
it's very bad. Yeah.
some of that, is implied here as well. Like
Perfect.
what features or facilities are there?
Yeah, okay. Amenities. And but you talked about modern amenities. These are very basic amenities that you gave us an example. Yeah, or
Yeah, but I guess when talking about buildings that could be quite old, because
mm,
here they talk about buildings reflecting eras and technologies of their construction. Um, that could be, like in the case of some of the buildings on campus, it would be like 150 years old. And at that time, mostly
it was old. Yeah.
mostly people didn't have electricity. Mostly people didn't have they didn't even have toilets inside, like bathrooms they did, but toilets no inside houses in Sydney. So
Mm,
some of that is very basic.
yeah, great. And also,
Um, so I think the pressure is coming from the expansion. So back to that idea of cities becoming more dense or population becoming more dense. The city expands, that also means it gets more people. There's pressure to combine old and new because you need to fit more people into fewer
mm,
spaces. Um, where I used to live in a place called Cogra, there was one heritage house on the street, and they just built this like 8-story apartment building around it.
around it. Yeah.
And so the apartment building was like in a U shape, and then the house was just sitting there, like, and it didn't get any sun because it was completely enclosed. So they had not blended the new with the old very successfully
Yeah, I
there.
get it. That's that's very weird.